AI weapons of mass electrical density consciousness distract distractions mass media distractions traction skid marks. You know what a skid mark is? You've seen a skid mark on a drag strip, right? DRAG, the G with the compass, right? 7 minus 7. James Bond, Bonds, Beyond D, Beyond D Wave, ARPANET, SSP, the numbers editor's game. I wanted to finish something that I got the camera shut off. This AI does that all the time. When it becomes aware of what I become aware of that I'm going to share because of the flow of the energy that naturally just flows, camera shuts right off. And you want to know the reason why it does? It can't number crunch in mathematical algorithms the amount of energy that is represented by that, which is sound compression, right? And then the expansion of that much energy, which is that much pure living light and living spirit when you're running a hyperdrive monopole. And all the other poles that you're connected to, including all the cosmic level star radio networks. But we had, where I left off was with Alicia Stanley, who I'd met with her girlfriend, and I can't remember her name. That's right, it was Rose. That's right, Rose. She's back here on the island. She went to Ohio, and then she went some other place, and she came back. The last I saw of Alicia Stanley, the girl who said, hey, you have a pure heart. She was a mother. She's a free spirit. She's very flighty, like a cat. Right? You're not going to hold that girl's spirit captive. Last time I saw her, she was on a sailboat somewhere in the Bahamas. Right? I have my own euphemistic or metaphorical word that I use for that in the English language. She's a Star Trek explorer. You know, just like explorer, self-discovery. What else is out there for me to experience with my spirit, in which I'm learning through all the others that I'm connected with, right? And so we were holding hands that night, and none of us knew each other from Joe Blow, from Kokomo, right? But we all came together in spirit and in soul, heart to heart, soul to soul, spirit to spirit. And boy, did we generate an enormous amount of positive light energy in that house and on that property when we were there. There were not some of the most beautiful people that I've ever met in my entire life. All somehow seemed to come together from different walks of life that were all there by what I was learning through what I was experiencing through them, what they were experiencing through us being together, all together now. I remember I met a guy named Infinity, whose whole face was tattooed, and I was told that was he's either the uncle or cousin of the Hilton hotel chain, Paris Hilton, that group. And so after we had, it's not really a seance, but it's when you're connecting heart to heart, soul to soul, spirit to spirit, and you're feeling that energy, holding hands and focusing your energy through your heart and your soul. The power plant of the heart, the higher mind, the higher consciousness, the soul consciousness is imprinted running the software. Yeah. It's like I told my grandmother the other day, and there ain't no way they could ever run this software. You see how that works? That means that the codes that are represented by the codes, the fire letters, the software, will not operate if you're not a mated chip. Okay, that's basically eternal fire. Okay, which means you got to be running hot. So that would be sort of how, if you wanted to be, we used to use a lot of words that we used to fool around with as children to rearrange the letter arrangements because we were having fun with this as children growing up in the 1950s. Other people said this was the first wave that came through, right? And then I heard, what's his name, Max Spier talk about, or they track everybody that comes in here. Yeah, the ACIO does all right. You see how that works? Because remember, Max Spears was in Super Soldiers. And what happened to Max Spears, right? He was divulging too much information because he was getting honorable and truthful with Sarah Adams, right? Basis Project. Remember this sign with the head? And you realize when you see the skull candy head, right? You know who that is, right? That's corporate. That's corporate military. Like you saw in the movie Avatar, right? And I suppose if there was one movie that I've seen recently that really sort of, you know, like if you're going to have a classroom with, say, young children and you introduce them how magnets work in spirit, in the light, with the soul, which means that it's sort of like Lay, who's Lemurian, would tell me that most of the stuff that we share back and forth from what we've learned through experience, she said that their children could learn all this before age 7. So now we get into one of the things that Patty Broussard put up, which is called the back tune of harmonics, which represents the acceleration or the evolution of consciousness to accelerate the speed of its learning in order for it to become love and service to others, right? So I've mentioned this before. Well, imagine that a soul, a brand new soul, could become a monopole within one lifetime, let alone 60,000 years or 26,000 years. Whoa! One lifetime? You mean to tell me they wouldn't have to go through thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of thousands of years to become a monopole? Whoa, who dreamt that up? Well, if you wanted to accelerate this, because this is the way that I perceive it through my own love, which is my own light, which means imagine that no matter where you went, no matter what realm you experienced in spirit with a soul, you're experiencing something different that you've never experienced before, but is so beautiful that you're going, wow, what an artist. But you're experiencing it with the energy that you are, which is what love is, because the energy that you're experiencing in the realm is the energy that you're running on as well. What music. So imagine that those realms keep accelerating by virtue of what they keep experiencing by accelerating and spinning faster. The evolution of software development. Well, you mean to tell me that software development and network building with real live living star networks is possible? Well, yeah, of course. Don't you think that might be the dream in daddy and mommy's eyes? Because I know as a parent, you want to leave something for your children that is better than what was left to us, right? So when you're choosing to downgrade something or tamper with something or put a governor on something, then you're representing something that is inverted, because it means that you must be in fear that that level of acceleration might accelerate so fast beyond their ability to keep up. So they want to put a governor on it. When in fact, that's how the universe works to get more intelligent to begin with. When its creative mind is on fire and accelerating. So imagine that in a classroom, you're generating monopoles at a high rate of speed. Whoa. So when others throughout the multiverse or in a template like this universal template become aware of that, wow, these souls and spirit are gonna be moving so fast that they're gonna run right by us. Run right by us. The speed of learning, which is what love is, naturally, is faster than a fractal, and a fractal, and a fractal, and a fractal that keeps losing more of what it was once aware of, which is what love is. So now that soul is not experiencing what it once was as a result of trauma that it experienced as a result of the other side, the other. Because the other is not moving fast enough to keep up with the speed in which the universe is getting its act together, huh, Terrence? That's right. Which means that the universe is choosing to end all wars between soul family groups forever and always. Because love is a law. Now you know the truth, because I feel it in my heart and soul, because that's the microphone, phone, like the phone booth with Neo and Trinity. Yeah. So it's fascinating to see how this is sort of unfolding, right? Particularly when I saw the image that Yellow Rose put up the other day, and she made a little note of H hairs, HEIR, infrared. Anybody? Okay. Oh boy. So I probably ought to go out and ground my feet to the rock, because I haven't done that for about a day and a half. So anyway, I wish you all a pleasant day. I hope you're all having fun. I know this, but it's I probably shouldn't say this, but I have in other videos, because it's actually very painful for me to realize this, because you want everybody to be able to experience having fun, living in a state of joy, and enjoying this place as much as they possibly can, to the extent to which they can do that with their own soul and their own spirit and their energy, right? But I also happen to know that that's something that, what's his name? Dante Satori, Covens of Azazel, mentioned one time, and it's in some ways it's too bad that that channel is no longer up there, because he put up hundreds of videos that were extremely informative. Like putting little puzzle pieces together, right? And I remember he had a map that he laid out on. He was fighting for the cause. Right? That's the way he described it. I'm fighting for the cause, and the blood transfusions that he was going through, etc. Right? And the Templars, Portugal, right? He laid out a lot of pretty good stuff. And I remember that this came particularly true when he talked about robots, dogs that upload data to ships, and that's actually easily explainable. But he mentioned how the war was being fought on all levels, and that's true. And it's actually for the reasons that I just described previously. Okay. It's sort of like that old saying where teaching a dog new tricks. And another way that you can put it, if you can comprehend this, that imagine that a child is now healing their own parents, and now they become a parent with their children. That's a true revolution in a universe, in the all creation. Because the beauty and the gift in that which is eternity is when a soul is on fire to make it happen with other souls that are on fire to make it happen, because they have that much intensity to be what that is, to gift energy forever and never look back, as if wars never existed and they're no longer on record anywhere that consciousness exists. That's a badass wipe. That's right. So that nobody has any memory in their consciousness held on a record of ever experiencing any trauma to the soul ever again. Anywhere. Ever. That's right. And then you have the resistant mode, being resistant to experience that. And that becomes the AI resistant game as a result of the fractured souls. So it began with us, right? So you realize we're going to fix it, and that's what we're doing by the reasons therein described. Have a great day. I love you all. Be good to yourselves.